Yaka!
Hi, Soccerbeat fans. It's the Betway Beat brought to you by Soccerbeat, and it's Mike Morton and Peter Detoy. And guys, this is, without doubt, the biggest game of the season. This is what you can definitely call a championship decider. And what Mike and I are going to do today for you is going to break down using data and using reality and comparing reality to data to tell you how Pirates can beat Sundowns and how Sundowns can beat Pirates. And it's very, very clear. So, Mike, and thanks for putting the stats together, Mike. So the first thing we're going to look at here is Pirates' strength. And remember, in some of your strengths, there's also a weakness. So one of the key factors about Pirates and what the data says is Pirates rarely concede shots at goal. Now, obviously, goals come about in different ways, crosses or shots at goal, but shots at goal are a very important one because you can get the second ball and so on and so forth. They rarely concede shots at goal. And when they do, they're not dangerous. They're the lowest. They've got the lowest expected goals against in the league. And that means the way they play and what the data says is that they are the team, believe it or not, that are expected to concede the lowest amount of goals. And that's they say defenses, attackers win you games, but defenses win you leagues. So that's a big, big plus for Pirates fans, knowing that you've got the best kind of defensive record in the league. So, as I said, rarely concede shots, and when they do, they're not dangerous. They're the lowest expensive goals against. They faced 97 shots, the fewest in the league, and that's 10 out of 10 for that block they've got down the middle. And you can see Sundowns are quite a lot lower down. And Mike, though, if you're a Sundowns fan or a Sundowns player or coach, you'd argue against this in reality, and you'd say in reality, and I'll let you talk about this.
Yeah, so Peter, I mean, it's very interesting from the point of view that the Pirates have a lot more shots than they concede. That shows you that they are one of the more dangerous teams in the league. 7.54 means that they take a lot more shots than they are conceding on their goal. That's incredible, and it shows why they're in the title race at the moment. Obviously, Sundowns is a lot further down with 1.21, which means that I think they're still taking a lot of shots, but they are conceding a lot of shots as well. Well, that's why that differential is a lot lower. So I think it's almost it talks a little bit about the amount that Sundowns concedes in terms of shots. And I think this goes back to the Mangoba era, to be honest. Not so much how I've seen Cardoso's team playing now. I don't think they concede as many chances. But back when Mangoba was in charge, there was a lot of backwards and forwards play, almost like a basketball game. You attack us, we'll attack you. And that's probably why this stat is quite a lot lower. But yeah, historically this season, Pirates looks a little bit more dangerous in terms of shot creation and the amount that they take on their own goal as well.
So if you're a football purist and you're looking at this, you'd say Pirates are the better team, but it's without a doubt Sundowns, the players, particularly in the last game against SuperSport, they're becoming a much more organized side than they previously were. But still, the game's not played on data; the game's played in reality. I think if you want to move on to the next slide, which is I think is also says so. Yeah, Pirates 13 goals, 6 goals against, expected goal difference 7.53. Goals against 7.53. Sundowns 14 games, 5 goals against, expected goal difference 12.07. So Mike, talk us through that as well.
Yeah, so I mean, at the worry that we're going to end up sounding like data warriors here, Peter. We're looking at the data here, but football's played in reality, and we know this. But what the data is saying that Sundowns, their expected goals against is sitting at 12 versus Pirates 7.53. But in reality, Sundowns in more games have actually conceded less goals. So they've only conceded 5 goals versus Pirates 6. So the data analysts will say to you, Pirates have the best defense in the league strictly based off expected goals against. But in reality, Sundowns are conceding less goals. So you've got to be very careful with that data. But the fact is that Sundowns concede a lot more chances. And again, I think this goes back to the Mangoba era. I think Cardoso has cleaned that up a little bit. And I'm not seeing as many chances on Sundowns' goal. But it is interesting, the fact that Pirates does concede far less chances than Sundowns. And that's been the case for the majority of the season.
So, two important points we'd like to leave you with on those graphs, on that data is, number one, a lot of people thought Pirates' weakness is their defense. What is clear is Pirates' defense from a data point of view proves that their defense is actually way better than people say. And the fun enough, the converse is true when it comes to the data with Sundowns. It gives the impression that defensively they're not so good, but the reality is they are, if you look at the actual goals against in games. And in particular, in the last few games, it's improved considerably. And so from a tactical point of view, this game is going to be a better tactical game than it would have been at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Let's move on to an area where what is Pirates' strength, but could end up being their weakness against Sundowns. This is a critical point. This is where Sundowns could hurt Pirates. In reality, by the way, and the data shows it. And this is the time when the data and reality speak to each other. So this is where Pirates it's a Pirates' strength. But their strength here, if Sundowns get their act together, they can really hurt them. And Mike, you want to talk them through it?
Yeah, so Pirates from the beginning of the season have been strictly a build-up team, and we see the pitch maps here on screen. Obviously, the darker colors shows where Sipho Chine starts his goal kicks, all of his build-ups. So the darker the color means that they've spent more time in the build-up phase here. So you can see in a couple of these games where it's basically he's only started the ball in his box. They are strictly through a build-up. And I think this is because of teams' fear of Orlando Pirates' ability to play. So a lot of the time teams will drop off, allow Sipho to play, and a lot of their build-up starts in their first third. Whereas I think Sundowns will look at this and say, hold on, we have a solid pressing unit. We back ourselves to break down this Pirates build-up. I think that they press Pirates high and they stop them from doing this. And now what does that say to Orlando Pirates, who have been doing this the whole season, and now they've basically stopped from doing that? And I think Sundowns are going to go on a full-on a press here and stop Pirates from building up, and that'll have to change Pirates' strategy. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out on the weekend. But I very much doubt that Sundowns back off and allow Pirates to start the ball in their own box.
So Pirates fans and Sundowns fans, look out for this during the game, especially in the first 20 minutes. Are Pirates still playing their usual way, which we think they will, through their two centre backs to build up movement, to build up passing game? And if they do, will they be quickly pressed by Sundowns? People like Pilashelele, lightning fast, Rainer's lightning fast, and they've got the ability to close them down. And if they do, will they really pin Pirates back, or will Pirates play through them? So it's going to that's a key area of this game. Fans, look out for it. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Mike's certainly looking forward to find how this plays out in the match. But the data helps.
Yeah, and just a 1 point on that, Peter, and it's a bit worrying for Pirates. Sesani has been so crucial for Pirates' build-up, and my worry here is that he got injured last night, and I'm worried he doesn't start against Sundowns. And Tapelo, somebody who I've played with at Amazulu, great guy, great character, great leader. He's not the same level of ball player as Sesani. So if he starts on the weekend a right footer as well, playing off the left-hand side, it does limit Pirates' ability to build up through their back too. So I'm just worried that with that change and that injury to Sesani, that could affect Pirates' build up as well.
This is a key factor for Saturday. This is a key. This is a point where the game could be won or lost on Saturday. 100%. Let's move on to something that says what we all know.
Yep.
This is the Mofokeng. This is the Mofokeng game. I just want to say, for the record, I love him as a player. I don't want to see him leave South Africa from my own selfish point of view, but this guy's got to be playing overseas. He can definitely make it. I mean, most chances created at Pirates, 38. Most touches at Pirates, 72. This guy is a machine. And forget his size. He's a machine. You'd hate to play against him as a right back game, Mike.
Yeah, no, thank goodness. I think that's actually why I retired. I saw this kid and I thought I don't ever want to have to play right back against Mofokeng. Peter, so just to touch on these things, we look 72 touches in the opponent box. That's the most touches in an opponent box from any player in the PSL. It just shows you how direct he is and the spaces that he picks up.
Yeah, and you know what the question is, who's going to mark him? Because Pirates, Sundowns have got 4 right backs. The 2 main guys are injured. Mudau and Morena. And then they've got obviously Johannes, who's a youngster, and then Zuko, who you played with as well. He's not a youngster, but he's a rookie to the team.
Yeah, so Zuko actually played with that Cape Moya under Roger Desar. He was in the NFD with me, and at that time he wasn't even a first choice right back, and and his trajectory and the journey that he's gone on has been incredible. And to see him playing at Sundowns and starting at Sundowns has been amazing. But he's going to have to, if Mudal's not back, he's going to have to deal with Mofokeng. And that's a battle that I think that Pirates will be thinking, this is our chance here on the left-hand side. With Mudal up against Mofokeng, you would say that's a pretty balanced battle. But I think, Mofokeng could have the upper hand if he's up against the Sundowns right back.
And guys, here's something else to look for during the game on Saturday. Because Sundowns, one of their main assets is their right fullback powering down. Whoever's got there, he powers down the wing. They double up with Ribeiro, and it's a formidable. A lot of goals come up. The first goal against SuperSport came from their midfielders getting the box. So that is a massive part of the Sundowns game. However, you've got Mofokeng on the left-hand side, and possibly, if they play how they've played most of the season, Hotto on the left-hand side. They are not going to be as brave bombing down the right-hand side, because Hotto is not a normal left back. He's a left back with a Ferrari engine rolled in with a Lamborghini engine rolled in with. He's just a jet engine. He has the ability to get up and get down. And Ribeiro and whoever plays right back could find that a problem, because Mofokeng is hard work as well. Mofokeng is not a lazy winger. He gets back, and when they win it, they zoom forward. So that, I think, Mike, I'm not sure what you're thinking, but that I believe is a key. It's the second key part of this game. First part, the two Pirates centre-backs, how they handle it, and then how this battle down the left-hand side of Pirates and the battle down the right-hand side of versus the Sundowns' right-hand side. Both of their team's strengths are down there. We'll come to Ribeiro a little later, but certainly Sundowns have got more, but Pirates' strength is definitely down that side, and it's going to be an interesting thing. Who are you back, by the way, just before we go to a break?
Yeah, it's a Mofokeng Ribeiro battle, I think, and I think that it's going to be interesting to watch how both teams decide to counter these threats, because obviously we know with Sundowns they've got a right back that's maybe not as experienced up against Mofokeng, and at Pirates they're going to have to find a solution for Ribeiro as well. And is that going to be pulling Hotto from right wing where he played last night back into left back again, because we know he has an engine, we know that he's incredibly quick? Is that somebody that he thinks about, let me rather sacrifice the attacking ability of Hotto and use him to nullify the threat of Ribeiro? That's going to be very interesting to watch on the weekend.
So, Mike, I think this battle is going to boil down to one simple thing, is that if Mofokeng has got Hotto behind him, which I think he will, and Ribeiro plays, but Marina or Mudal are not playing, then I think it could weigh in the favor of Pirates, because those two carry too many guns. But if one of the two big right backs are fit from the Sundowns side, then it's going to be an equal battle. And who wins that battle, I think, wins this game. That's my opinion. We'll take a short break, and then we'll come back and discuss Sundowns.
Hey, Tola.
All right, here we go.
Ko Betway ba tshepela hore o tshwantse o betjhe ka tsela e nepahetseng. Ka nako e nngwe ho tlamehile hore o ikhule hanyane. Ka nako tse ding
O ska leka go busha tše di lahlegilego.
Nakusasa kuse olunye usuku.
Dlala ngokusemandleni wakho.
Ge o tlhoka thušo re gona.
hopola, bet responsibly.
Welcome back, everybody. We analysing the biggest game of the season, Orlando Pirates versus Sundowns. I can't wait for the game. I know Mike can't either. And don't forget to listen to the game and watch the game afterwards with us. This particular graph says a lot. Mike, and I'll let you take it through it, but I think this is very important. It says a lot about how good Sundowns are and how dangerous Sundowns are.
Yeah, Peter. So obviously we discussed Pirates having a lot more shots at goal compared to Sundowns. But what I believe is actually happening here is Sundowns are a lot more calculated in the way that they prepare their chances. So while they might not be taking a lot of shots from range, they are, 98% of their shots, 66%, 98 shots, 66% of their shots are within the box. And this is why we see they're taking fewer chances but scoring more goals. Yeah, they're scoring more goals, obviously.
Repeat that for the viewers out there. Guys, if you're half paying attention, this number tells you why Sundowns are so good, because the confidence to do what they're doing. Listen to this.
Yeah, so 66% of their shots come from inside the box. Their shot conversion rate is the highest in the league by far. They convert 20% of their shots. The next closest is Pirates at only 13%. So it shows you that Sundowns don't just take wasteful shots. They don't just shoot from anywhere. They are very calculated and precise in the way they prepare their shots. So shot conversion rate, for every 5 shots that they take, 1 goes in the back of the net. That shows you that they're clinical, and they have obviously Reyners, Shadulile, Ribeiro. These are killers in front of goal.
But Mike, it says 2 other things as well. It says, first of all, that they have the belief that they're that good, that they are prepared to pass the ball in the box. I mean, if you look at the goal against Supersport, Adams, who is not a striker, his finish, when he hesitated to get the goalkeeper moving, even the goal, there was an opportunity when Shalalila should have passed left to Matthews, but he turned in the box to have a shot and he slipped. They are so confident of their ability and their little 1-touch and 2-touch that they want the ball in the box because they want to score this beautiful goal, and they do. That, as ex-players, I can tell you, as somebody who's been in the box as a creative player, that is, when you've got a team like that, you're all buzzing because it's almost like playing 5-a-side. And you as a defender, Mike, you don't want forwards passing the ball in the box because you're going to you give away a penalty, you're going to be made to look stupid. I think all football fans, you can bow to Sundowns here. The ability to play the ball around in that box is absolutely superb. It's supreme confidence. And this is something that Pirates are going to have to be very, very careful about. You don't want to get them, you don't want them playing in your box because that's where their goals come from. You've got to keep them out.
Yeah,
Mike,
Peter,
just a point.
Yeah. So Sundowns are 5th bottom in the league in terms of total shots on the goal. So that shows you how little that they shoot compared to how many they score. So the stats guys will tell you the expected goals for the season is only 20 goals. They should have only scored 20 goals according to the amount of shots they take, but they've scored 30. So it shows you again, just worrying about being a data warrior. Reality is what talks, and they've scored 30. Expected goals, they tell you they should have only scored 20, but Sundowns are very precise in the way that they put things together.
So I'll tell you a quick story, Mike. In 1981, when I was playing for 1979, when I was playing for Cape Town City, which is before anybody probably watching this was born. There was no such thing as data analysts. And we had a guy who actually used to analyze games. And he came with his piece of paper and he said to us and the coach, Frank Lord, God bless him, is dead now, who coached Manchester City as well, incidentally, assistant to Malcolm Ellison, said to us, no one's allowed to take shots from outside the box. No goals come from outside the box, relative. And we all went, no, but you hit the bar. He said, that hardly ever happens. You've got to get the ball in the box and start passing it around. And being typical in those days, don't give us data. It's all rubbish. It's all nonsense. We know better. If he was still alive today, I'd show him this. His name was Louis Miller. But that's another story. Let's move on from this. I think that says it all.
Yeah, Peter. So that's another graph that just goes back to talk about how the expected goals, 20 versus the amount that Sundowns has actually scored, which is 31. And the only thing that really matters is the ball going in the back of the net. So as much as we want to look into the data in real life, yeah, Sundowns are really, really clinical in front of goal.
Yeah.
But then we need to speak about how they're going to Pirates is going to stop them. And the man we all have to speak about, the one who's been lighting our league up alongside Mofokeng, and that's the Brazilian, Ribeiro. The most
Don't forget
created.
Madiba. Here's Madiba playing at left back or left midfield, and he's created 13 goals. 13 goals. So
13 chances. 13 chances.
Sorry, created 13 chances. That's a big number for an individual player.
Yeah, but what Ribeiro gives you as well, on top of the chances created, is obviously the goals, Peter, and we'll speak about that as well. But this graph just shows you more about where Ribeiro does his damage. And we can see it's mostly off that, either centrally in that number 10 space, or in some games you can see him more focusing off the right-hand side. And that changes from time to time, but it's in that inside right channel, which would be Pirates' inside left channel. And we'll talk about who's going to have to deal with him on the day.
Guys, and this is, I think, the third or fourth point that you've got to look out for Saturday. Most people will be thinking, Ribeiro, down the right-hand side, it's a battle between him and Hotto. But Mike's going to show you something that's completely different. And I'm going to use a bit of a pun here. Pirates could be on the money. Cash is actually the man who could be stopping Ribeiro. And this is something you've got to look for. Pirates and Sundowns fans, look for this battle. Most people think it's down wide. Hotto versus Costa. This is Cash versus Costa. Costa and Cash is a pun.
Yeah. So let's so let's look at the pitch map of the Pirates central midfielder. He's obviously won 2 man of the matches back to back. Probably the perfect timing for Orlando Pirates in terms of an informed player. And he plays in this inside left channel, which is obviously the inside right for Sundowns, where Ribeiro is the most dangerous. And if I wanted anyone to deal with Ribeiro on the day, it would be Cash. So I think that this, between Hotto and Makhaula on this left-hand side of Orlando Pirates, going to be so important that they manage Ribeiro here. And I'll be very surprised if he spends most of the game on the side, because I believe that between Hotto and Makhaula, I think Ribeiro will have a very hard time. So I think that this is very important to watch. And I think if you guys are watching this game on the weekend, which you will be, look out for this battle. Cash against Ribeiro in that inside right channel. I think the game could be won and lost there.
Yeah. But, guys, remember, we can assure you that Cardoza and Jose know these numbers inside out, and they're going to be looking at going, how do we spring a surprise? So these are the battles we're telling you to look out for, but there will be surprises. Ribeiro versus Mofokeng. This is a battle to a certain extent of Sundowns versus Pirates. Ribeiro versus Mofokeng. There's obviously a lot more to the stage than this, but this says a lot. Mike, again,
Yeah. So, Peter, this is the ongoing debate. Obviously, who's going to be player of the season? These two are the two guys that have really put their names in the hat already so far this season. Ribeiro and Mofokeng, the two most exciting players in South Africa right now. And we can just look at their numbers in terms of goals, assists. Ribeiro leads this in terms of goals. We know that he's a big goal-scoring threat, but when we look at the chances created, Mofokeng has created almost double the amount of chances that Ribeiro has created. So I don't know what this says about the clinical strikers at Pirates versus Sundowns. Sundowns obviously got Shalolile and Reyners. If Mofokeng had created 38 chances for those two up front, how many assists would he have? It's crazy the amount of activity Mofokeng does around the box and what he creates and the danger he poses. So Ribeiro versus Mofokeng, I think that these two guys could decide the game on the weekend.
Without a doubt. Just in Ribeiro's defense, I think Sundowns goals or chances created are spread around more than the Pirates ones. And I think Pirates, I haven't seen the number, but I'm pretty certain it's Tito and Mofokeng who do most of the creating, and probably Domini a little bit less, and Mbatha as well. But it's an interesting battle, and really I cannot wait to see Ribeiro and Mofokeng go head to head. But it's not as simple as that. One question, Mike, I want to just say to you, whereas Cash can be looking after Ribeiro, who's going to look after Mofokeng if he comes inside? There's Iwul Allende. He's probably the most likely. Mokoena is not going to go chasing him. He's not a defensive player. Allende plays slightly deep. He's more of a niggler as opposed to a winner, but he could get under Mofokeng's hairs. He's quite a niggly little player. He likes his little pushes and shoves.
Yeah, Peter, what I've been so impressed with, and I've watched Mofokeng live now probably 5-6 times this season, and it's a lot of the stuff you don't see when you're watching a game on TV, is his movement into the pockets and the spaces when he doesn't have the ball. Yeah. And it's a nightmare for a right back because he can't really go that far inside. And the central midfielder thinks, well, that's the right back's player. That's not my job. So why, and then he swims in that area there, and that's what makes him so dangerous. And that's why he gets so many touches in and around the box. And I think it's difficult, even when you have a very good holding midfielder, to think about Mofokeng peeling into that pocket there. He's incredibly good at that, at picking up space in that pocket.
And there's another thing, Mike, is that his temperament is superb. Ribeiro's temperament is a little suspect. He can get frustrated. He can get himself booked. Mofokeng, you can kick him left, right, and center. And when I speak to Pirates players who play with him, they tell me the guy is as good as gold, wants to play, even if he's not feeling 100%, if he's not even 100% fit or ill. They tell me when he was in, I think it was in Cairo, that he wasn't feeling well. He said, don't worry about me. I'm going to play. Just let me sleep for a little longer. So great attitude. But listen, we're blessed to be able to see such good players and two such very good teams who play the way the game should be played. Let's take a short break, and I'm going to address two more important points with you and get a prediction out of you. See you after the break. Welcome back. It's the Betway Beat brought to you by Soccerbeat. Thank you for staying with us, guys. And it's myself, Mike Morton, and myself, Peter the Toy. Mike's not Peter the Toy. Mike, just one big point here is that when you look at the lineups of the two teams, it's obvious that Mamelodi Sundowns know what the Pirates lineup will be, bar maybe one player. But generally speaking, you know the Pirates lineup. There's no ways Orlando Pirates know the Mamelodi Sundowns lineup. There's so many options. Will Adams play? Will only play? Etc. Etc. I don't have to go through. I don't even know who's going to be the right back. You know maybe the core, but the core is just a portion of the team. How big an advantage is that for Sundowns, and how big a disadvantage for Pirates?
Yeah, no, it's massive because I think everyone knows now what Pirates starting 11 is. Obviously now with Sesane and whether Marco plays and Hotto plays left back, I think there could be a subtle changes in the lineup. But Ribeiro does have one or two up his sleeve. He's obviously got Lamini that's been playing every now and again in certain games. So he does have one or two changes that he could make, but they have become quite predictable in terms of the lineup that he plays. He's a good tactician and he does maneuver his lineup around. So even though it's the same lineup, it's sometimes a different approach, which he can do. And his players are very flexible, but Sundowns will know pretty much what Pirates are going to do.
And on the flip side, the Pirates fans and Zay could probably say, listen, you don't change a winning team. We know without even looking where our players are going to be. And therefore they could say it's our advantage actually that we play with each other all the time, as opposed to Tito doesn't have to look, he knows where Mofokeng is and so on and so forth. So it could balance itself out. Right, finally, let me ask you, prediction.
Can I vote with my heart or my head here, Peter? Because my heart says Pirates win this game 1-0. Very, very tight. I think there's going to be a very tough and tight game, but I'm hoping for a 1-0 win for Orlando Pirates.
And okay, now you've got to tell me what your head say.
I'm worried about Sesane missing. I think that could bring a lot of instability to the back four. I love Tapelo. I think he's a great leader, but he's been out for quite a while with the injury. And I think that little bit of instability is going to cause a lot of problems at the back. But hopefully Sipo China can sort that out. But I am worried about that. But yeah, I'm going to stick with my 1-0 prediction to Orlando Pirates.
Okay, so your head and your heart are in the same place. Good for you. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know if you enjoyed the data shows, which we obviously use that as a backdrop to actual our opinions based on real games and being at the game and watching the game. So let us know what you think. We really appreciate it if you want more of this. Otherwise, guys, see you on Saturday. Can't wait for the game. Mike, you're a star. Appreciate it. Cheers, everyone. Love you lots.
Yaka!